YouTube, what's going on? If you're new here, my name's Roger. I own a company called MPVO Tactical where we make holsters and gear and also film content for this channel. In today's video, we have something really cool to show you all, something new to the market and something that has not been done before. I am talking about the new Hybrid 12 1-12 second focal plane rifle scope from Atibal Sights. Now, as always, I like to tell you guys how I go about getting these products in for review. You all know our good buddy Jimmy out in Arizona. He is the owner of Atibal Sights and my business partner with our company, Atibal Illumination. He reached out to me a little while ago and told me about this new 1-12 scope that he had coming to market. He asked if we would like to film a video on it, however, he only had a pre-production sample at the time, so Jimmy flew out to Vegas so that we could have a range day with his awesome new scope. Prior to this video being published, the production models have arrived and Jimmy gave us one of those to use for our content and to keep. That is the one that you'll be seeing here in studio and the one that you would purchase on his website. Okay, so before we get into the range footage, let's go over the specs of this new Hybrid 12 scope. The Atibal Sights Hybrid 12 is a Mid Power Variable Optic, or MPVO as coined by Recoil magazine. With the 1-12 magnification, they are bridging the gap between low-powered optics and mid-range optics. The scope is perfect for your large caliber guns or even your longer barreled 5.56 setups, which you will see later in this video. The scope features side parallax adjustment, adjustable locking turrets, 6 brightness settings for the reticle, Hoya Japanese ED glass with fully multi-coated lenses. Additionally, it utilizes a mil reticle, has a very low profile for 12 times magnification. It is fog-proof, it is waterproof, it is shock-proof. The tube size is 35mm and it has an eye relief of up to 6 inches. All of this is housed in a nice 6061 T6 aircraft grade aluminum body. Now, for this review, our host gun was my American Defense Manufacturing 18-inch SPR UIC Mod 2. If you're interested in this particular rifle, please check out that full video that we published a few months back on that. Okay, so with Jimmy here, with the pre-production Hybrid 12, we all hit the range. Now, we only had one day to film this review, and of course we had winds up to 20 miles per hour that day. We had those kind of annoying range day winds that try and mess everything up. You know, the kind of winds that knock over your targets at 400 yards, or knock over your expensive camera equipment in the middle of filming. Needless to say, we were all a little hesitant as we wanted to hit out to 600 yards with this 69 grain boat tail hollow point ammunition in 223. I'm happy to say that after you watch this video, I think you will all be just as surprised as we were out on the range. So for this range day, we set up targets at 200 yards, 400, 500, and 600 yards. We also set up a small 6-inch steel falling tree target at 100 yards. We then did our 0 at 100 yards before shooting out at distance. I was definitely happy with the 0 we were able to get even with this crazy wind. Okay, so now that we were all squared away with our 0, we had Jimmy step up to the plate first. Now, another cool thing about the Hybrid 12 is that Atibal Sights teamed up with Paragon Creed. They are a group of Special Forces snipers. Together, they developed the special purpose V1 reticle for this scope. This reticle gives a wide range of use for any situation, to include our windy range day. The reticle has been uploaded to the Straylock Pro app already. With this app, we were able to input our ballistic data as well as our wind conditions. Inputting this information helped us out with our holdovers. As I show you all the range footage, you're going to be looking at 3 different sources. One will be the shooter, the other will be the targets at distance through binoculars, and the last will be the reticle holdover via the Straylock Pro app. Okay, so like I was saying before, Jimmy was first up to shoot. Here you will see him hit the 6-inch circle steel target at 100 yards, then the A-zone target at 200, and lastly the C-zone at 400. This is all done from the prone position with ease.
Oh no.
It's alright, just shoot it again. It'll move based off when you hit the steel. There you go.
Nice. Showing the accuracy there, yeah.
Impact. Impact. Six-inch steel at 200 yards all day long, bro.
Hey-oh.
Impact. Impact. 3 in a row. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Now, Jimmy explained to us that he doesn't do a lot of distance shooting out past 200 yards, so he was pretty stoked to hit 400 yards with ease. Next up, John tried out the scope. John actually already uses the Atibal X 1-10 scope for our local gas gun precision matches. John easily took down that falling tree at 100 yards. All right, John, 100-yard dueling tree, TA targets, what is that, like a 6-inch circle? Go for it. Hey-oh! Next up, John crushed it at 200, 400, and 500 yards, no problems. Impact. Impact. Impact.
Let's go for 4.
400. Impact. Impact. Hey-oh! Impact! Impact! Impact!
All right.
Now, 600 yards did give him a little bit of trouble, especially with that wind. However, he did manage to get one good hit where we could hear that steel ring out. Impact!
All right.
Now you got it. Now, after seeing the difficulty with shooting at distance in this wind, I was a little worried before I took my shots. I warmed up like everybody else, taking down the 100 and 200 targets, no problems. Dueling tree to 100 is good.
Impact. Impact.
2. Now, as I went out to shoot the 400-yard target, it was so windy that it actually just fell over on its own. 400. 400 just fell on its own.
Good shot.
Now, I just decided to go for the 600-yard shot because I wanted to make sure that we could hit out at distance, and since this wind kept picking up, I wanted more time on that target before we had to leave. I'm happy to say we got our hits.
Impact. 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 Impact.
So there it is, guys, 6 hits at 600 yards with 69 grain 223 ammunition. Some people said that it couldn't be done, especially with this wind, yet here we are. So a couple of things I want to note here, guys. John, Jimmy, and I do not consider ourselves to be long-range shooters whatsoever, or at least not good ones anyway. I shoot some local matches for fun, and I shoot with my buddies for fun as well. I have not had any formal training with long-range stuff. I have just paid attention to the stuff that I've picked up at matches from those more experienced than myself. The reason I mention this is because if the 3 of us are able to do this, many of you out there watching this video are going to be able to do the same thing. One of my buddies currently still in the police department here in Vegas is part of the designated marksman program with the LVMPD. This is essentially a patrol level sniper position utilizing an SPR type AR-15. We were actually talking on the phone while I was on my way to the range, and he was telling me that it was not a good day for long range because of the wind, and that there was no way we were going to hit 600 yards with 223 in these conditions. Well, I only had one day to film this, and as you all just saw, we were able to put our rounds on target. Now, a couple things I want to note here. The wind kept fluctuating between 16 and 20 miles per hour while we were out there. So we used 18 miles per hour as the wind data for the Straylock Pro app. When we found ourselves missing or a shift in the wind took place, we just adjusted our holdover within the reticle to get on target. Now, when I'm using any type of scope, I'm typically shooting 200 yards plus. Otherwise, I typically just run a red dot. I mention this because I know some of you out there in the 3-gun world are gonna be looking at this thing, and in my opinion, you should be. I definitely see this as an application for the scope in the 3-gun world, especially with how easy it is to get on target because of that awesome eye relief and the diamond outline within the reticle. I ran a couple of drills shooting up close and then shooting a target out of 50 yards while standing just to demonstrate this. The glass is clear, guys, the reticle is easy to use, and the throw lever is very functional. So for you guys out there in the 3-gun world, this is definitely a scope that you might want to be looking at, especially for the price. Speaking of the price, guys, the scope retails on the Atibal website for $899. This is insane to me. Another cool feature of the Hybrid 12 is the side parallax adjustment. When using any LPVO, you might notice that as you zoom out to your distance, your target can start to look blurry or your reticle can look blurry. With the adjustment on the side, you're able to turn the dial to the distance you are shooting at, which will make both the reticle and your target clear and in focus, something that was definitely helpful for us out on the range. Now, I know some of you out there watching this might be turned away with the scope being second focal plane. That was my initial instinct as well until I got behind this thing and actually used it. I've primarily only shot first focal plane scopes in my limited experience with long range shooting. I honestly didn't even notice that the scope was second focal plane. It was very easy to use the reticle with the holdovers provided by the Straylock Pro app. I've heard some people complain about being limited on capabilities with a second focal plane scope. However, you all just saw us hitting 600 yards with 223 ammunition in 20-mile-an-hour winds. The scope also has 6 adjustable illumination settings. I don't typically use this feature during the daytime. However, if I was using the Hybrid 12 at night, I would definitely utilize these settings. So guys, my overall thoughts on the Hybrid 12 from Atibal Sights. I'm really impressed with it, guys. I think that Jimmy really did his homework and his research. I think that he put in the time needed to develop this new style MPVO optic. Utilizing experienced snipers to develop the reticle and then test the scope is something I think we can all appreciate. Additionally, with a price point of under $1,000, I think that buying this for any of your SPR type builds is a no-brainer. Well, everyone, that's going to wrap up our review on the new Hybrid 12 MPVO from Atibal Sights. Congrats to Jimmy on the new product launch. I'm sure these will be sold out in no time, especially at that price point of only $900. That is just, to me, such an incredible value. Definitely check those out on his website, guys, while they're still in stock. I appreciate Jimmy letting us get on the range with this pre-production sample and for giving us one of the production samples to use for future content. We really appreciate it, man. Jimmy also went the extra distance, the extra mile. He also covered the cost of the ammunition in the video and came out here to film it with us. We greatly appreciate this. It's companies like Atibal Sights that understand and appreciate the content that we produce in the industry, and they're willing to support the production of these videos for you guys all to watch. So big shout out to them. Thank you, guys. As always, we appreciate you checking out the video. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up down below because that does help out the channel. If you're new here, please consider subscribing because we post new videos every week. If you want to further support our content, please check out that Patreon link down below. Our Patreon supporters are a huge reason why we keep making these videos for you guys all to watch. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.
That was pretty consistent at 600.
Yeah,
With
I'll
this
take
wind? That was sweet, man.
Jeez. $6,000. And there goes my hat. 400 just fell on its own.
Good shot.